Brakte Yahweh, Brakte Yahweh Shai, Brakte Yahweh, Brakte Yahweh Shai, Brakte Yahweh, Brakte Yahweh Shai. All praise unto Yahweh Shimi Shai Wahara Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So this is gonna be a video going into war moves, World War III moves, and basically what's going on with that. So I'm gonna read the article and I'm gonna go into the scripture. So it says Russia will target US with new hypersonic weapons if it deploys missiles to Europe. So if you remember, not too long ago, there was a treaty that the US pulled out from, the INF Arms Control Treaty, and pretty much when you check out how Europe is and where Russia is situated, all right, what you call Europe, all right, Estonia, I think, all right, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, I believe those are the countries. Correct me if I'm wrong, my geography is not the best, but pretty much there's European countries that make up the borders of Russia. So when you got a treaty like the INF Arms Control Treaty, all right, where you say, look, we ain't gonna have arms here or whatever, and you pull out from that and then you put arms, all right, armory or whatever you want to call it, on Europe, in European countries, like I mentioned, the ones on Russia's borders, pretty much you've got, bombs, so to speak, facing Russia. So that's why that was a major move when the United States had pulled out from it. So carrying on, it says in his first major public address since the US formally pulled out of the INF Control Treaty, Russian President Vladimir Putin warned on Wednesday that Russia would point its new arsenal of hypersonic missiles. And remember, they've been working on those, man. All right, there was a lot of information that was coming out about them developing those hypersonic missiles. So it's a beautiful thing that now that's what they're really saying. Look, that's how we're gonna retaliate. All right, which can purportedly bypass NATO's ABS system. I believe that's how they take down, air defense system or whatever. That's how they disarm them or whatever. All right, system directly at the US if it dares to reintroduce ground-based intermediate range missiles to Europe. And that will be see when they pulled out of that treaty, it wasn't so that they could put. I mean, you got to think about this, right? If you got a situation where you got to put arms down in Europe, of which NATO, right, and other EU nations are allied to America, right? They're allies to America. So if you're deploying missiles in America, you got to think what those missiles are intended for, and rightfully so, they would have been intended, or they're gonna be intended, because it will happen. All right. The scripture speaks about how the Russians was going to be pulled into this World War III. I'll read that scripture in a second. But if you're deploying missiles into Europe, you ain't deploying them to point at your allies, which is the EU countries. You're deploying those weapons to point at your enemy, of which your enemy, if you're the EU and America, your enemy is Russia, man. Okay, your enemy is Russia. So continuing, it says, according to Fox, Putin threatened to deploy Russia's new Zircon missiles, right, which Putin said can fly at 9 times the speed of sound and can carry a range of 620 miles, and are part of the country's drive to upgrade its defense capabilities against an increasingly aggressive US and NATO. And that's what has to be remembered. Everybody calls Russia the aggressor, right? But check this out, man. America's the aggressor, all right? NATO and America, and really America is the aggressor, man. All right, if you check out, you really watch the news, well, the proof of it is that President Trump pulled out of this treaty that's supposed to what? Protect those countries from going to war against each other, but he pulled out of that. So check it out. It says that what? That he pulled out of that. So that means what? That means to say that these nations are ahead. All right, they're going into a stage of war. Things are heating up. So you can understand. So Putin also took a few moments to praise Russia's weapons program, comparing the new avant-garde missile, hypersonic missile, which Russia infamously tested on the day after Christmas, sending a shiver of alarm through the Western intelligence and defense analysts to the 1957 launch of Sputnik 1. All right, so it says the world's first artificial satellite, which was built by the Soviet Union, which was demonstrated by the Soviet Union. The weapons has demonstrated that Russia has the technological capabilities to surpass the United States. So, I mean, the article pretty much says all that needs to be said. You can carry on. This is on zero hedge. So you can clearly say we're headed to what's known as the war of Armageddon, man. All right, this thing is real. All right, so let me get this scripture right quick. Ezekiel 30. 38. Son of man, Ezekiel 38:2, and says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. I'll turn thee back, I'll put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling sword. So, where is Russia situated to this day? They're situated out there in the land of Gog and Magog, all right? And the Most High was going to put hooks into their jaws by way of America, because America is the one that, you're talking about Russian aggression. What Russian aggression? America is the one that pulled out that treaty, man, okay? They're the ones that basically said it's open season, all right, when it comes to that, the deployment of short-range missile, or which we ain't even talking about the nukes. Them nukes wants to pop buttons pressed. The buttons pressed, man. There's no turning them back. The scripture speaks about that. All right. So it says, I'll turn thee back, I'll put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth all thine army and horses, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling sword. Persia, the Iranians, and the Iranians have been back, all right, in the picture. And we still know that America wants to invade the hell out of Iran, but due to Russia's presence, they haven't done so. Okay, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmet. All right, Gom and all of his bands in the house of Togarmah in the north quarters, and all of his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, right? Which they've been prepared, because they just showed you within that article that they've been preparing these weapons, man. Okay, they've been preparing these weapons, and their technology is superior to that. Their missile technology is superior to that of America. So they've been preparing, and they've been preparing their allies. So it says, "Be thou prepared and prepare thyself, for thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a God unto them." All right. So you can see this thing is heating up. All right. So let me hit up one more scripture. All right, dealing with America and the destruction of America, and this is going to be within the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, because the scriptures prophesy about this war. All right, the war of nations, the war where America was going to be wiped off the planet. So the book of Revelations 18 and Revelations 18:3 says, "For all the nations have drank of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornications with her, and the merchants of the earth have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." So through the monetary system and whatever other means, America has made herself rich. Pretty much, that's what's happening out here, man. All right, these nations have waxed fat through the abundance of America's decadence. All right, it's a very decadent place, low morale, and very self-indulgent. And it says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and ye receive not of her plagues." And what's going to be the plagues? The book of Zechariah 14:12, and says, "This shall be the plague wherewith all the people that are fought against Jerusalem, all right, shall basically their tongues was going to consume away whilst they stand upon their feet, all right, and their they was going to disintegrate by way of those ICBM nuclear missiles, which is the same thing that Russia's saying that they're going to point at America. For sins have reached unto heaven, right? The Most High has remembered her iniquity, all right? Rewarded, even this she has rewarded you double unto her works, according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she has glorified and lived deliciously, so much torment give her, right? Sorrow give her, and for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, I am no widow, and I shall have no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, right? Death, mourning, and famine, and she shall utterly be burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord that judgeth her. Okay, excuse me. For strong is the Lord that judgeth her. All right, so that's gonna be the judgment, man. Okay, that's gonna be the judgment. So pretty much so pretty much with that, I'm gonna say, oh, praise unto Yahweh, Shemi Yashai, Warwick Kadash, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, on the brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity. Shalom.